Hi, so I am Jainil. I'm the TA for this course, ECS 132, and I'm a PhD student, now a second year student at UC Davis under Prashant Mohapatra in the computer science department. And I'm also currently interning at the Berkeley lab with Professor Sean Tissart and working on differential privacy. And yep, I'm the TA, and yeah, let's start. So this subsection of the video is going to cover about the introduction and some administrative details that are supposed to be followed through the quarter or the session. First thing is about discussion sections. The videos will be recorded earlier, as this one is, and posted on Canvas. During the discussion sections, that is on the Fridays during 10 o'clock till 11:40 a.m., the videos shall be played and queries shall be addressed at the instant, and like with a pause and play structure, where if you have any questions, we can always address those after the video ends so that you are on track with the learning. You can use R notebooks for the code. Sorry, yeah. So I'm going to write the code in R notebooks to upload it on Canvas so that you can reuse the same code if needed. And if you need it in any other way, and if it's not working, we can always keep on changing. Not keep on changing, but like we can change it once or twice the way I give out my code. Coding will be a major chunk of the discussion. It's best to have your instance of R up and running, and you can write code along with the video. So like if in the video I'm writing some code, and so basically what is going to happen is there'll be a question or a problem that we are solving, and we'll be simulating the problem. So based on that, we'll be coding on about the solution for that. So it's good to have, like, while I'm talking to you, if you're writing the code, then it gives you an added advantage. And also one thing about coding is that it's better to have muscle memory. So it's always good to look at somebody coding and code while the person is coding, and then you can always have your own solutions as well. And that's always the key to understand how to code. And if needed, you can always go back to the recordings and practice the questions again after the discussion. Also, not every question will have one correct answer or one correct solution. So please feel free to share your solutions with the class, maybe on Piazza. I don't think it's configured yet. I mean, when I'm recording this, it should be done by then. And yeah, feel free to reach out to me if there are any queries with the code. Next, we'll have a short recap of the concepts you discussed in the class with Professor, a very quick overview. So that I don't want to spend much time about the concepts, but focus on your R programming. But I do understand that to write code for something, you need to understand the concept. So just a quick overview to recap all of those things so that you can address the question that we're going to solve. At the end of the discussion, I shall zero down onto the main concepts you would have learned. Some R programming tips for the homework questions, like maybe I'll give you a few questions that you could use on the for the solution on the homework. Not, I think for the homework one, only 3 of them required you to write code. So I think we should have a good amount of practice by then. I think July 1st is the last day to put in your homework, submit in your assignment one, so that should be fine. And that's the plan for this discussion section, so that to get you to a level where you can write simulations. There will be a lot of sectional videos than one long video. So this is something I understood after my TA last quarter, where I was TAing for ECS 20, and I would make longer videos, which would not really which were helpful to a certain extent, but not the kind of impact I would have wanted to make. So what I'm going to do here is that all the sections, so I'm breaking the discussion video into sections so that you can always review those parts again. And also, like, during the discussion sections, like the live discussion sections, I would have them running so that I can also like keep on shuffling between videos if required. Oh, office hours. So my office hours would be on Mondays 12:45 p.m. to 2:45 p.m. and Fridays 1:45 p.m. to 3:45. I think Shubham This officers are on Mondays and Fridays from 6 to 7. I think it's on the schedule, on the syllabus of the course on Canvas. Um, these might change if there is a higher demand. Then I would have to schedule office hours on Wednesdays as well for 5 to 6 or 6 to 7 or even more. From experience, what I've seen is that a lot of students have uh, similar questions, and I have been um, so I have been like solving the same question for like 5, 6 times in an office hour itself, not even considering the multiple office hours that I'm hosting. So what I'm going to do is that if you have a query, you send it to me before the office hour in a way that I'll group the students who have the same query, and we'll address it together. Now I understand that not all students would be able to make it at that hour, so maybe we'll have a little bit of redundancy there. But then I'll also be recording those discussions that we have um, and posting it as well, so that if anybody else comes up and has a question after the office hours have ended, we still can go back to the discussions and answer those things and look like refer to those things. And just send those questions to me a day earlier so that I can schedule and give you enough time to understand what your schedule might be like. And anything else? Let's see. Yep. So refrain from asking me a direct solution to the question on the homework. I've had people ask me to review the question as well. So don't do that. That's why you're being graded, right? But uh, if you have an error that you're not able to solve, or if you have a conceptual question, a conceptual query, I would love to talk to you about it. And for, like to resolve errors in your code via email, just have it legible for me to reproduce your code in my IDE or my command terminal, so that I can see what is going on there. And also, like, if you can have a screenshot of your error or just like a snapshot of that, that works even better for me. What else about office hours? Let's see. Yep. So just send me an email a day earlier, and I can send you that exact time slot that you need to attend. If there are no as scheduled slots for the office hour, then you're always welcome to drop in. And but it's always better to have these a systematic setup for this. Emailing me, I'm more than happy to respond to emails. Always make sure you have ECS 132 in the subject line for me to go down at night. Or like, anytime I'm sitting down, I don't want to like, it's better for my mailbox to be sorted that way, and I don't miss out any queries. Queries in Canvas will be answered as well. So that's the best place. If you email me on Canvas, like send me a message on Canvas. But yeah, I mean, emails are even better. And I'm pretty sure I would hardly be grading this quarter, but would entertain regrade requests, which are still best made on GradeScope. Shubham will be the one grading the questions, at least for the moment, and I wouldn't be doing that. But if there's a surge in his work, I would be there. So yeah, so majorly just if you have any questions about the queries, about the grading, it's best to contact Shubham on that. But if there is anything you want to talk to me about, please feel free to reach out. Always consider that I'll have a lag of 24 hours. I'll be responding even earlier than that, but I would allow myself a maximum lag of 24 hours to get back to you. Just give me 24 hours before you follow up with me, because I've had students send me an email every second hour while I was working on something else. In case of an urgency, please email with an urgent in the subject line, so that if there's anything that you want to discuss with me, I can like, schedule an office hour or like get back to you in time. The main question, why is modeling important? I think I'll leave that question to be answered through this course. But majorly, if you have any question you want to solve that using computer science, so that to me is like having a language or a way of expressing yourself of what you understand about the problem, and you try to get a solution for that. And when we talk about probability and statistics and numerical analysis, that is majorly what happens. The questions or the problems you'll try to see even today, you would have a good intuition of how to solve those questions, but it's always good to have a simulation that can do like tens and thousands of runs to get you an answer. Like the best example would be um, the dice one, you know, like uh, an experiment where you're throwing a die and you're like, I'm sorry, when you're throwing a die and you have um, to look at the number of sample outputs. So how many times would you like, what is your expected value of getting a head or getting, you know, like what is the expected value when you throw the die for 6 times? So the sample space for that experiment will be 6 raised to 6. So you can't always keep on running experiments manually, and you would want to use your computer for that. And I think that will be underlined through the course. So I think we'll leave that to that. The big question, resources for R. R for beginners is a tutorial by CRAN, and that's a good one. There's another R tutorial. I think I will post the link on Canvas or in the chat box while it's live. To download R, just go onto the R website, select your operating system, and download a binary file. It's also helpful if you go. So this is a snapshot from the CRAN website where you just get a mirror for that, a good mirror to download from. And yeah, I just get done with this. Installing RStudio. The latest version of RStudio, that's the best thing. I personally use RStudio from Anaconda's. From Anaconda, I mean, it really merges together with my Jupyter notebooks as well. Something to note is like the Python has Jupyter notebooks, right? So something similar for us in R is the R notebook, which will allow us to share our code with people. And R is really known for its visualizations, so make sure you use them as well. They're really pretty. And yeah, so download RStudio and R. Something I would also tell you is that you can use any IDE for the homeworks. On the quizzes, you might be expected to write plain R code without the help of an IDE. So it's good to know the syntax of the language. And to understand the syntax of the language, it's better that you go back, look at the R tutorials that you have. I would be like covering a few in this discussion, but it's always good to go back and like try those codes again and again to get a good grasp of that. It's better to practice code in R console on the terminal or command prompt. Like I'm a Mac user, and I just need, after I've installed R, I just need to type R to get it running. So that's right there to open a terminal window. 3 things that you do. So this course should be pretty well for you, and it's a summer session, so it's really fast paced within 6 weeks. So yep, let's dive deep into the discussion in the next section video. And yep, feel free to email me anytime you want on jrvora@ucdavis.edu. And yep, I look forward to hearing from all of you, and best of luck. Oops,